I just got back from a great adventure to Israel, and in today's video, I am going to share with you everything you need to know before you go. Hello everyone, my name is Kola. Welcome back to this side of life. And if you're new here, welcome, and thank you all for joining me today. I have always wanted to go to Israel to see all those places in the Bible, but the big question for me has always been, is it safe to go there? And that's a question that many people ask. I will be answering that question for you in today's video. I know that many people want to go to Israel, and so I'm just going to be breaking down for you all the things that you need to prepare for and all the things that you need to know, all the information that you will need before you go, so that you are going to have a smooth and enjoyable journey to the Holy Land. Okay, so I went to Israel in March of this year and I was there for 10 days. The first thing you need to think about is, of course, the cost of the tour and your airfare. So in terms of your airfare, it will depend on where you're coming from to Israel. So you might be coming from North America, Europe, or Africa, and that will determine the cost of your fare. And then the cost of the tour depends on the type of tour that you decide to take. Is it a group tour? Is it a private tour? That would make the cost differ significantly. So today I am going to talk about going on a group tour because that is what I did. And I am going to give you a breakdown of my own costs later on in this video. So stay with me. So if you are going in a tour group, make sure that you go with a group of people that are like-minded. So in my own case, I went with a group of people that I already know, and it made the trip more fun. The advantage of going in a tour group is that the tour group will organize the hotels, your food, your transportation, and that is a big deal because if you want to go and transport yourself, it can be very expensive. In Israel, you could go by bus, you could use services like Uber, and you could also rent a car, or you can take a taxi. In our group, some people had to take a taxi from Tiberias to the airport, and it cost $200 US. So yeah, there is a lot to be said for going in a tour group because they will organize your transportation. You don't have to worry about transportation, you don't have to worry about hotels, and you don't have to worry about feeding. That is all taken care of. And they will have a tour guide who knows the terrain, who knows the history, and who will be able to answer your questions in the different sites when you go. For example, our own tour guide told us that it took him 2 years to study to become a tour guide. So that tells you how much education goes into it and how much they know so that they can share with you as you go from site to site and give you a better understanding of what you are seeing as opposed to going by yourself. Also, the best time to go, from what I've learned, is between March and May. Other times are either too hot or too crowded. Like maybe if you go in the summertime, maybe it's too crowded, and then towards the end of the year, like September, it's very hot. Even though the weather in Israel is pretty warm throughout, you know, I don't think there's any time when it's cold or anything like that. So it's Mediterranean weather, so the weather is good, but the best time to go is between March and May. And then another thing I would say is make sure you go with a partner. Go with either your husband or your wife or your friend, because I found that you always need somebody to be holding the camera, somebody to take a picture of you, especially when you go to those sites and it's not very convenient to take a selfie, or you just want certain pictures and you cannot take them by yourself. So, and it's always, difficult to always look for somebody to help you take a picture. So if you go with a partner, then you know that you are both there to take each other's picture. And of course, another advantage of going with a partner is with a tour group, you would have double occupancy in your rooms, and that would slash your cost by a bit because you don't have to pay for a room all by yourself. You share a room with somebody, so that makes it a little bit more affordable. In terms of the flights, so in my tour group, I found that those of us that were coming from North America, we had long layovers. One of us came through Poland, and I think she had like a 6-hour layover in Poland. For me, I went from Calgary to Amsterdam and Amsterdam to Israel. And in Amsterdam, on my way going to Israel, I had a 12-hour layover. So you need to be prepared for that. It seems like if you're coming from North America, there's always a long layover somewhere along the line in most of the flights. So you should be prepared for that. So what I did was I had my blankets and I had my laptop, and I was prepared to make use of the time that I had during the layover. I was also able to take a nap. So yeah, so be prepared for a long layover. And then make sure you change money. Like in Israel, they will take dollars or shekels, which is their currency. I found that sometimes it's better to actually pay in shekels. So before you leave where you are, if you are able to change money, if you are able to change into shekels, you should change some shekels to take along. Although when you do get to Israel, there are people that change money and they will change US dollars. I didn't see anywhere where they were changing Canadian dollars, but they will change US dollars, they will change pounds. Those were the two ones that I saw, and I don't know, maybe some other currencies as well. And in terms of payments, they don't take debit, but they will take credit card, cash in dollars or shekels. As far as I was concerned, the hotels were reasonable. And like I said, we went in a tour group, so we didn't really have a choice of hotel. We had to go with the hotel that the tour company booked for us. If you didn't go with a group, then you could book your own hotel. I know some people in my group were not very happy with the hotels. They were used to higher standard hotels, but I could understand that we were in a tour group and they just had to do what was good for everybody in the group. But alternatively, you could do a private tour, and then you can choose your own hotel and book whatever kind of hotel that you would like, and then pay for your private tour in addition to that. Some of the experiences that we had in the hotel included noise, because like in Israel, there's a big Muslim population and there are lots of mosques everywhere. And so there's the call to prayer in the mosques that might wake you up in the morning. And when we were in Bethlehem, there were dogs on the streets, and some dogs were barking through the night and didn't allow some people to sleep. Then in terms of food, we were eating 3 times a day, every day. And yeah, the food consisted of, your typical Mediterranean diet, lots of salads, lots of vegetables and grains. Like there was always potatoes, there was always rice, and they had some lentils at times. They had a lot of tilapia fish. There was a lot of sauces that you could eat with bread, and lots of bread as well. So yeah, the food was not bad. For breakfast, there was a lot of eggs and just your typical breakfast. So you would be eating 3 times a day if you went with a tour group. But one thing I would say about the food is it's not always spicy, like if you like spicy food. So we were advised by our tour organizer to bring our hot sauce. So yeah, take along your hot sauce. I'm sure you have heard that there is a lot of walking on this tour. Make sure you have comfortable walking shoes. You're going to go on long walks, and the terrain in Israel, everywhere, Jerusalem, Bethlehem, is like hilly. Like most of the places are on the mountain side. So there's a lot of going uphill and coming downhill. So yeah, so you need to be prepared for that. Make sure you are in top physical shape, because you are going to do a lot of walking. Just be prepared for that with the gear, the necessary gear. Make sure you have a backpack. I made that mistake. I didn't take a backpack. It was just great that our tour company, the first thing they gave us when we got there was backpacks. So yes, that really came in very handy for the trip, because you are walking a lot, so you need to carry your stuff, and a very convenient way to do that is with a backpack. And also take along a water bottle. The tour company was always giving us water as well, because yes, you are walking a lot, you are sweating, you are tired, you need water. So if you want, you can take along a water bottle so that you are hydrated throughout your walks. And also you need a hat, because it's sunny. You need to protect yourself from the sun. They use a lot of limestone, so it gets hot, so you need to protect yourself from the heat. And I found that the internet was a bit dicey. Like in some of the hotels, we had some trouble with internet. Sometimes we had to go to the lobby. We lodged in 3 different hotels: Bethlehem, we were in Jerusalem, and Tiberias. And some of the hotels did not have good Wi-Fi. But the good thing was, in the tour bus, we had Wi-Fi as well as charging ports. We were always able to charge, and we were always able to get onto the internet when we were on the bus. So it wasn't too bad. But just be prepared for that. You might want to have a data plan while you are there, so that you are always connected, if that's what you want to do. And also, don't forget to take your international adapter. That is critical. I was able to buy one at the airport in Amsterdam, and they use those ones with the 2-pin round ones. I'll put a clip here to show you what it looks like. Yeah, so you need that, because without that you are not able to charge your devices, and you're not able to just plug in anything that's from North America. Another thing you should know is that in Israel you can haggle. In fact, I was like, wow, you can haggle even more than you do in Lagos. For example, we had some things that started out as $40, and at the end of the day we bought them for $5. In fact, the first day we were on the tour bus, there were all these people that would come into the bus to sell stuff. They would be like, oh, it's $30 today. The next day, on the same person on the same bus would say, oh, now it's $20. So make sure you haggle so that you can get the best deal. And the sellers can be very, very aggressive. They are very funny salespeople over there. And then also make sure you keep your receipts, because as a tourist, you can get tax refund at the airport on your way out of Israel. So make sure you keep your receipts. That's also very important. So of course, you are going to buy souvenirs. What I found is there are many small things that you can buy, like cashmere scarves, purses, bags, and small things that you can buy and give people when you get back home as souvenirs from Israel. And don't forget to tip. One of the good advice that we got on our tour group was to have $1 bills so that we can use those to tip. You can tip the bus driver, you can tip the people where you eat, you can tip people in the hotel. They expect you to tip them. So the $1 bills come in handy for tipping. And I also understand that the typical tip in Israel is 12%. So if you're one of those people who calculate your tips, then 12% is typical. I'm now going to go into some of the things that really surprised me during this trip. But before I do that, if you're getting some value from this video, please hit the like button, give us a thumbs up so we can reach more people. And also, if there's anybody you know that might benefit from this, please share the video. Thank you very much. One of the first things that really surprised me is that I felt safe. I didn't feel like I was in danger in any way. So my answer to that question, is Israel safe, is yes, it is safe. Maybe part of it is because I was in a tour group and we went only to certain places. I think in Israel, there are the places that are dangerous and there are the places that are safe for tourists. There were so many people during our trip. I didn't feel threatened. I didn't feel unsafe at all. So yeah, my answer to that would be, it is safe to go. So if you want to go to Israel, it is safe to go. The only caveat is don't get yourself involved in the politics, because really Israel is a very complex place, right? Different people, the history. During the tour guide will always tell us, oh, this place was built up and then somebody came and destroyed it, and then it was built again and somebody else came and destroyed it. So there's been a lot of conflict in that land, and a lot of friction and a lot of tension. But you don't get yourself involved in that as tourists. You go to the touristy areas and it is safe. The other thing that's really surprised me is the smoking. For example, in North America, you cannot smoke in public places. You cannot smoke, for example, in a hotel. But over there, we had people smoking in the hotel, in the lobby. Maybe in the rooms they had no smoking, but in the lobby of the hotel, people were smoking. So that was very surprising. And also another thing is that it's very touristy. So these sites, for example, in the Bible, where Jesus was born, where Jesus was crucified, the Garden of Gethsemane, the Mount of Transfiguration, the Mount of Ascension, it is very touristy with a lot of people. So if you are looking for a quiet or reflective opportunity, it was very difficult to find that. For our group, when we got back to the hotel, we had fellowship and prayer after each day. And also on the bus, when we started, we prayed and we had fellowship as well. But at the sites, it was really sometimes chaotic, actually. So yeah, that's one thing. That's another thing that surprised me. And then another thing that was interesting to me was that there's such a difference between the north and the south of Israel. Like in the south, is more desert-like, while in the north is green and lush, and it was just a stark difference because we did drive from the south, from Jerusalem. We went to Haifa, and Haifa is so beautiful. And yeah, that was something that was also interesting about it. And also, if you are thinking like me, I was thinking that, when we go to the fields where the angels announced the birth of Jesus to the shepherds, like I will see a field. No, there was no field there. Most of the sites have churches or buildings, sometimes mosques built there, and so it's not really what you would have imagined, but they have kept some of those spaces, and they will tell you, this is where it happened, or this is where they think it happened. So it may not be exactly as you imagined it. And also, Israel is quite a small country. From north to south, you can drive it in 6 hours, and from east to west, you can drive in 1.5 hours. So it is a small country, but filled with a lot of history and many different kinds of people. Like in Jerusalem, there's the Christian quarter, the Muslim quarter, the Jewish quarter, and the Armenian quarter. Bethlehem is in the Palestinian territory, and one of the things that happened when we went was also that we had our talits, which are the Jewish prayer shawls, which our organizer had customized for us with our names, and we had it on. We thought, we were going to the place of the birth of Jesus, and we were going to have that and take pictures, but that was Palestinian territory, and they didn't want us to have the talits on, so we had to take it off. So those are the kind of things that you need to be sensitive to when you are in Bethlehem. Israel is very complex and intertwined with different interesting historic and beautiful sites, and you definitely should have it on your bucket list. You definitely should go and visit Israel. So now for my trip, the tour was 2,500 Canadian dollars, and the airfare was about $1,500, and maybe like about $700 spend, and so that makes everything with that $4,700 Canadian, which I think is not too bad. But yeah, it depends on where you're coming from. It depends on who your tour organizer is, how much they're charging, what your flight looks like, and what kind of tour you actually go on. If you want to go on a private tour, then that would be much more expensive. All right, that's all I had for today. I don't want this video to be too long. Thank you so much for joining me again. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you know whenever I upload new videos. Stay tuned on this channel for another video where I will talk about the sights and sounds of my trip to Israel. Until I come your way again, until the next video, you go out and make it the best days of your life. Bye.